I'm just here to introduce Amy and Karen. They're going to talk about some examples and lessons learned from successful collaboration between library teams and other areas of the university. Welcome, Amy and Karen.
Okay. Thanks, everyone. My name is Karen Simon. I'm the Learning and Teaching Leader in the library at Seeker University.
And I'm Amy Croft. I manage library client services at Seeker University.
So, today we're going to talk about making it work. Click. 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 No? Click.
The magic is happening.
Yes. Ah, there. Oh.
Click.
Click. Thank you.
Sorry, guys.
It's all right now? Okay. There we go. Okay. So, Seeker University is unique. We're a dual sector, multi-campus university. We have a large geographical footprint that includes 16 campuses, including newly incorporated regional Queensland vocational education and training campuses. Translate that to TAFE. Students can study by distance, on campus, or a combination of both. The distance education student cohort currently makes up about 60% of our enrolments. And you can see on the map the location of all of our campuses and study hubs. The current enrolments at Seeker University include school leavers, mature age students, students from low socio-economic backgrounds and Indigenous students. 27% of our undergraduate and postgraduate students are international. In a university-wide restructure in 2013, the library merged with the Information Technology Directorate to form our current Information and Technology Directorate. The reduced staffing levels created the need for a review of the library's organisational structure, our service model and our core services. A matrix organisation structure was introduced in 2015, which leveraged staff skills across all campuses and created opportunities to form virtual teams and a realignment of reporting lines within the library. In 2015, we also began a large-scale transformation program, which included 21 individual projects, including an extensive user experience feedback collection, client services review, development of a communication strategy, development of a catalogue of services, implementation of video service kiosks in all libraries, a review of learning and teaching support materials and delivery platforms, and a renewal plan for research support, and also planning and preparation for a new library system.
Okay, so all that background was really to drive home the fact that essentially we've gone from being a small regional university to having coverage around Australia, but still with a very lean team. So we had to really rethink how we provide services, and part of our overall digital transformation project was also to look for opportunities to better work with IT and combine where possible to provide better service across the board. So we looked at combining some library and IT services to take the emphasis off service on particular campuses, which very much depended on which staff were available at the time, to one unified library service model that would work for students no matter where they were studying, no matter whether it was a large campus, a small campus, or studying by distance. And we looked at multiple tiers of support. So level 0 is our self-service, which is online and is available anywhere, anytime. Then we have level 1 for basic support. And the idea is that if you're near a library desk and it's within our opening hours, you can go and get help there. Or you can get the equivalent help by calling our Technology and Services Assistance Centre, or TASAC. That's a challenge in itself, if you're not near a library desk, and you'll get that same level 1 support. Then we have level 2 for more advanced librarian support, and level 3 where really specialist assistance is needed. So this is better use of our staff, but most importantly, it benefits our clients because they don't have to guess where to go for information. They just go to the first point and we'll give them the help with the library or the technology question that they have. So here's an example of some of our self-service for building library and information skills. We start with the library website, which I'll show a little bit more in a second. Then if someone needs more assistance around searching for information or building their study skills, they can use our library Moodle site, which Karen will talk a little bit more about in a second. Or they can make online bookings to get more help from a librarian or to book a study room. So some of the things on the website for self-service include the study room bookings. You can see that's pretty popular. The red boxes are the ones where it's booked out. We also have discipline guides by subject, and we have FAQs. These are all driven by our SpringShare products. So our FAQs are through LibAnswers, and they cover library, technology, and study skills questions. We have LibCal managing our online study room bookings and Ask a Librarian bookings, and our discipline resource guides are run through LibGuides. These have some pretty good benefits. They're easy to use. There's built-in feedback that we've used LibGuides forms to grab feedback for basically everything we're offering, including our general library search, our Moodle site, and our sessions. And it gives us some really powerful reporting as well.
So, just go back to our collaboration alert. So the library has a long history of working closely with teaching staff to embed information literacy into the curriculum, particularly for a course called Skills for Tertiary Education Preparatory Studies. We call them STEPS. Students who are undertaking this course are often returning to study after some time or require additional academic skills before they undertake their first degree. So the course is offered online and on campus. And the library's involvement in that course has morphed over many, many years and changed in content and delivery depending on how the course was starting to be delivered. The introduction of a student distance cohort prompted us to move the course to Moodle. And then, when face-to-face delivery became unsustainable for information literacy sessions, the online environment opened up some new opportunities for us to embed library support materials directly into the course content. There was a hard copy information literacy guide that was handed out to all students every term, and we converted this to an enhanced and interactive online content, which is now embedded in all the STEPS units and recently adopted by some units within the School of Education and Arts. So by developing these links through their course, it's a way that students can seek assistance at their point of need and revisit the content as often as they need to, something that the one-shot information literacy sessions couldn't provide. Last year, this collaboration was awarded the Vice-Chancellor's Award for Good Practice in Learning and Teaching, which recognises the innovative approach to the design of the curricula and resources. So, with the new service model concentrating initially at self-service, we wanted to make sure that students could actually access the support they needed to build their information and library skills. So we reviewed all of our learning and teaching materials, which included our library guides, our learning objects, anything that was out there that was available for supporting students. We selected the best content for inclusion in the new Moodle site, which is this is the basis of it. It's called University Research and Information Skills. All students are automatically enrolled in this site, and there's a link to the site that's displayed in all the units, so they can quickly get there from their help menu in Moodle. Other benefits from the review were we reduced the number of our library guides from 400 down to 80. And this was because there was so much duplication and recreation of content. We discontinued the creation of unit-specific guides, which reduced duplication of effort and recreating those generic materials over and over again. And so we're focusing on the Moodle site and encouraging all academics to promote this to their students. And just going back to the self-service model, these are our stats to date for this year. So you can see our FAQs are getting a reasonable hit. We've had about 12,000 views on our Moodle site so far, so we're about into week 9 of term. And we've had over 250,000 hits on our library guides, so we're pretty pleased with that. Back to Amy.
Okay, so a little bit more detail on our different levels of support. So our level 1 support, I started to talk about how it was the same level 1 service, no matter how you were accessing it, in person or virtually. What we had to do was increase the support available to even it up across the board, so the library and TASAC were providing the same level of library and technology support in order to allow more fix at first contact. So if a student or a staff member first approaches the library or TASAC, they should be able to get that answer on the spot if it's not too complicated. So we increased the searching skills of both TASAC staff and the client service officers at the desk by allowing them to provide more help to students in getting started searching for information. And the basis for that training was actually using the same Moodle site that the students used to get their basic core information skills. We also had some workshops with the level 1 teams and with our level 2 librarian team to work out the guidelines for when those queries should be escalated for some more advanced assistance. So to get that in-person and virtual version of the same level of support, we needed collaboration and cross-skilling. First, we had to work out what we needed in terms of cross-skilling. We had 2 mini projects. There was one with library desk staff to find out their top 10 queries that they had to refer to TASAC about technology, and one with TASAC to find out the top 10 queries they had about the library that they had to refer to the library, so anything that was getting moved somewhere else. Once we figured those out, using the stats and asking them about their pain points, representatives of those teams developed written instructions, and then they trained each other in how to provide more support. For example, library desk staff had a session with some TASAC staff where they built up their technology troubleshooting skills. They also had to get together and work as a team to agree on the levels of support they would provide and also get to know each other a little bit. The result, you can see 40% reduction in cases referred to TASAC from the library. The vast majority of these were things like resetting passwords and unlocking student accounts. So now that library staff can do that, we're able to help many more students initially at the desk. And this helps give you an idea of the coverage around Australia of our level 1 support. So at all of the little yellow dots, we've got a library desk or a video kiosk, so someone can walk up and get that level 1 support from that space. The green in the background is our level 0 support, which is available everywhere. And of course, everyone can contact level 1 if they're studying by distance, if they're not near a campus, via email, phone, or web form. On to level 2. So you can see the different contact coming in to TASAC. We use a service management system called SysAid to log and track and reassign jobs, queries. Then we developed a level 2 team, which is librarians online, made up of librarians from 6 campuses around Australia. And of course, they're the escalation point for queries that require librarian help, which is more of your traditional reference query or how to search, or staff will ask about how to source different resources, whether, to buy them, for example. This is making much better use of the librarian skills of our librarians online team. because they're not just waiting to assist a student that might need help on their own campus, but they're helping students across all campuses and the many, many students studying via distance. They were set up as a virtual call centre following the same model as TASAC, so using the service management system SysAid, using Cisco Jabber on their computers to receive phone and video calls, and using Cisco Finesse to set up as a call centre. They also spent a bit of time practicing using the technology to support their clients via video, so they practiced sharing their screens to demonstrate things, and also talked clients through how to share their own screen if they're using a laptop. And a little bit more about how we use video. So we have video kiosks on all of our campuses around Australia. And because so much of our support is not in person, for example, if someone talks to one of our librarians, they're mostly going to be doing it through a screen or over the phone. We wanted to improve the experience of accessing help from anywhere and make it feel as much like a face-to-face interaction as possible. So we use these Cisco DX80 units, and they've been set up with an app that we built in-house, which is just one big button on the screen saying, press here, and that connects them directly to TASAC. Then they can get the help there or get diverted to our Librarians Online team. There's been some initial reluctance to use these video kiosks. One student at my campus in Sydney told me she was just too shy to use video. She preferred to use the phone. But everyone who does use it comes away impressed by the experience. So they really like being able to share their screen. And students also say that it feels a lot more personal than a normal phone call. TASAC staff have really seen the benefits as well. They can communicate much more effectively with students, and we do have a lot of international students where sometimes the language barrier is an issue. They can also resolve technology issues much more quickly when they can actually see what the client is looking at. And the Librarians Online team find it useful for demonstrating how to search particular databases or helping with EndNote and fixing complicated EndNote library questions. And this gives an idea now of our coverage of our librarians online, where they're actually physically located. We had a good test of our dispersed online team this year with Tropical Cyclone Debbie. So as Queensland campuses were shutting down one by one, either due to cyclone warnings or flood warnings, our Librarians Online service continued to operate, even though by the end we had just one person. One librarian in Sydney keeping the service running by herself, but it worked, the model worked. And I'll hand back over to Karen.
Okay, so obviously video kiosks have their limitations in terms of the student has to be located at the location where the video kiosk is. So that means it's only available on campuses and in study centres. So distance students were our concern, considering there's 60% of our students at distance. So we set up the Ask a Librarian service, which means that students then have an expanded opportunity to access the service. So now they can use the phone, the web form, email, and also they can book an Ask a Librarian session online for themselves. So we have sessions across all campuses that are advertised. One of those at every campus is online every week, so students can pick a time when it's best suited for their study schedule. We use Zoom, which is a great platform for that interactivity, and I might just show you this quick video.
Hello, how are you? How can I help you?
I'm good. I would just like some help on finding some information. I've heard about a database that might be helpful, Signal, I think it's called, and just wondering, I can't really navigate it very well, so I don't know if you can help me with that.
Sure, okay, so can you show me how you're trying to locate this database? So if you just share your screen, there's a little green icon at the bottom of the window.
Yes. There we go.
Okay. Alrighty, so how have you been searching?
So I went to the home page here, and then I typed in Signal, and just saw what that came up with, but
Okay, I'll just stop that there. You get the idea, and then the librarian can actually then share the screen with the student to demonstrate as well. So bearing that in mind, our level 3 team now actually just consists of senior librarians, research and access staff. So the librarians online team can escalate specialist queries that they're unable to resolve themselves to the staff via the service management system. And the queue for this team is closely monitored and service requests are redirected to appropriate staff. And collaboration with teaching staff and requests for attendance at committee meetings, etc., are channelled to this team and then drives the engagement agenda for those librarians then to go out and visit the particular teaching staff. And this is just a bit of a map to show you where the senior librarians are located across Australia. Each dot represents one person.
We're a lean team. Okay, so technology has been the key to how we've managed to function together as one team. We do use video a lot for meetings with Cisco Jabber. We also record meetings and training sessions and make them available on our internal SharePoint site. It's been great for encouraging that one team vibe, encouraging communication without multiple emails. So we have a blog for news and announcements, and this is quite work related. And then we have our virtual tea room, which is a social news feed to share pictures. So they have turmeric lattes now in Rockhampton, and also quick tips. Our virtual service teams also each have their own space within the team site. And they use that for sharing documents, and they also have discussion boards that they use to ask questions and share answers. So everyone's got the same information, everyone's on the same page. So next steps. We've got a few things that we'd like to ramp up now that we've got them started. So for video service kiosks, we'd like to add other self-service options besides simply calling TASAC. So we'd like to offer people the opportunity to search our FAQs, for example. We've also got other areas of the university interested in using video service kiosks, so they can be contacted as well. So we could be building on the relationships that we've already started to develop and share our technology with them for that. In the same way, we're looking at expanding our Ask a Librarian model of having regular bookable sessions with experts to use the technology that we've had, that we've developed to open that up to other student support areas. Our team site approach to communication is being used by other areas of the Information and Technology Directorate. And we now also have a shared team site that was launched last month. So there's more news being shared that's relevant to both teams. So we're trying to bring together those two sides of the Directorate. We did have some false starts with some of our initiatives and realised that the lack of one knowledge base that's used by everyone is a real weakness. So that's something we're focusing on this year. With building a shared knowledge base as a single source of truth for everyone, and also building a culture of knowledge-centred support for our support teams. And I'll just leave you with this thought. No matter how small our teams or how diverse our client base is, by working together and by making technology work for us, we can all provide effective support to our clients. Thank you. And a little bit of time for questions? Yeah. 2 minutes for questions. Hit us.